this forever start today or no?
I'm a new creature. Jesus, my Savior. How can you trophy?
I'm Tameeka Byrd, and this is Solo Sessions with Earl Miller. She's sensitive. She's a creative. She is becoming outspoken. She is a nurturer, a teacher. She's a lover of God. She's a lover of people. She's unique. But and it started at a Tom Thumb wedding. I had to sing, "Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? No, my Sherry more lovely as a summer day." And I was like, "Who does this?" But I didn't even know what this. It was so dumb. But that was the first thing that I sang, and I knew then, like when I saw the people's faces and what music did for them, like this was the thing for me. And I know, like, you're 5. What do you know, right? But that's where it all began for me.
Wow. So you were age
5.
5 years old, and do you have any family that sings at all?
Nobody in my family can sing. Not my biological family, no.
Really? How did your parents nurture that, even though they weren't musical themselves? How did they nurture that gift you had?
So it's actually my godparents.
Always remember, my friend, the world will change again, and you may have to come back through everywhere you've been. When your life is low, you have nowhere to go.
Remember, I was directing the choir at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and that's how I met my godparents. And my godmom says to me one day at a service, she was prophesying to someone, and she turns around and she says, "But they have yet to hear the cry of the psalmist. You will not sing background forever. Like, this is it." And I was like, "No, I gotta sing background today. Like, does forever start today or no?" And it was in that moment. She's just like, you have to know that God has so much more for you, and that there is a sound that He wants to hear from you, and it has yet to be heard. That night, I wrote a song in the bathroom, and it changed me forever. And I was just like, I had never written a song before. I would always hear melodies and get little like pockets of lyrics, but I thought it was just for me, like personal healing. I didn't know that it would be something that would be bigger than me.
So were you comfortable being a background singer? Did you need a little bit more coercion to get to the front to be the lead singer? You shy?
I have moments of shyness, yes. But for me, in the background, you could sound like anybody. Background vocalists have the ability to sound like anybody, like whoever's leading, whatever you hear. You don't have to be the front runner. You can just be in your own little space, create your own little musical dream, and be done with it, right? When you have to be a solo artist, you create the moment. And you create that moment for people, and I didn't want that responsibility. I was like, no, I don't have it. I don't look like it. I don't have the same sound. Whatever that looks like or sounds like or feels like, I just didn't think that I was good enough. Went through a real awful situationship, and I was not supposed to be in it, and my heart was completely broken. My biological father was diagnosed with cancer, and I learned the biggest lesson of forgiveness in having to be a caregiver with my sister. And it was in those moments of disparity when I found out who I really was. And music, the lyrics, the melodies that God gave me is what saved my life. And I remember I got a song from the Lord, and I was at a cookout and someone said, I have these words, I just don't really know what to do with it. And there were 4 lines on a piece of paper, and I read them, and he was like, you can do whatever you want with it, it's yours. I said, well, what do you want for it? He says, nothing. And literally in the back room at this cookout, the words are, I'll take the pain, I'll bear the shame. It's not in vain, but it is for your glory. And I was like, oh my God, it all like clicked to me and made sense. That it wasn't about me, it wasn't about the things that I thought mattered. It was literally about the glory of God being revealed to me, however it sounded, however it felt, whatever it looked like. And that it didn't have to sound like the world, it didn't have to look like the world, and it didn't have to be like anybody else. And it was that moment that brought it all to me.
Wow.
And did it all for me.
Wow.
This is gonna sound cliche, but everything, like literally everything, I knew of God, and I was introduced to God, but when he became everything to me was when I was at my lowest point. And I would hear people say, you know, he's this and he's that and he's a keeper and he's a healer and a deliverer, and I would be like, I didn't know him like that. But in those moments, it seemed like it all happened at once. But in that moment of feeling alone, feeling depressed, feeling detached, feeling unwanted or unneeded, that's when he became all that I needed. And he gave me a song. I remember sitting in my living room and I was like, I don't have anything else. I have nothing else. I don't know what else you need to do. I don't know what else you need to say. I moved where you told me to move. I joined the ministry you told me to join. I am being obedient, so I thought to what you said. What else? I have nothing else. And he gave me the words to this song, and he was saying them to me for me to say them back to him. You are the air I breathe. You're the source of life and strength for me. And it became a single for me. And wow. I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And it was so wordy. Like, and I was like, I can't play this on the radio. It's too many words. Like, and I was, no, it's not gonna work. And he literally gave me the lyrics, the melody, everything. And I sang it to a producer, and he was just like, this is so wordy, but it's so real. Like, I really feel like that's who he is to me. And I said, that's who he has become to me. Like, and I remember my mom saying to me, whenever you need him, that's what he shows up to be. And that's how he became my everything.
I used to do. I'll never go back to the things I used to do.
Don't believe the hype. Don't trust what you hear, not always trust what you see. We live in an era of social media where you can be anything, you can filter anything, you can change anything. I saw a filter where this girl was like super thick, and then next thing I know she had like this hourglass, and I was like, that's why men don't believe what we say. They don't know, like, is anything about you real? And I believe that's what artistry has become. It's like, put this filter on, put this sound here, let that auto-tune ride for a little longer, take this melody from this person, take those lyrics from that person, and it's not become a personal experience. what I would tell someone who was in the same position as me is that it takes time. It can't be rushed. And you have to trust the process and trust that who you are singing about is who he has become to you. And what he gives you is what matters. I have literally been sitting on a full album for years. And I get, Facebook memories come up like new music coming soon. And I was like, I said that 3 or 4 years ago. Is it really coming? It's like the return of Jesus Christ. He's coming. And then like, boom, it's here. But what I believe is that we get caught up in not trying not to be who we are so hard that we try to become somebody that we're not. And that's harder than just settling in who you are and channeling that with what do you want to hear from me? What do you want the world to know about you? Who am I supposed to be connected to or exposed to? And when you start asking God those questions, he'll give you that. And then he'll open the doors for you to be where you need to be. So don't believe the hype and don't always believe what you see, because there are artists that are struggling too. And what they may portray to be real is not real, even for them.
It's good. It's good.
From my management company, Mosaic Sound Entertainment, Danton Whitley is the CEO and visionary, and every year they do this give back concert. And this year he did the concert, and this is what we had to wear. And today I was like, what should my mom says when she gets up in the morning, she literally says, Lord, what do you want me to wear? What direction do you want me to go? And I didn't ask that question, but this is what I saw. So I pulled out something else, and the Lord was like, that's not what I showed you. I said, cool, I'll put this on. So this is what I wore. And I love to wear things that remind me of who I am. Remind me of where I'm going to be. So the last time I was here, I had on another shirt that said, my whole life is favored. And it came from a moment in service, and my mom was preaching. Another plug, shameless plug, Pastor Ramona Evans.
Okay.
And my dad, Bishop Philip Evans II, have a beautiful church in Capitol Heights, Maryland, Tabernacle of Praise and Worship. Another shameless plug. And she was preaching a Bible study one night, and she said, nothing can bother me because my whole life is favored. And the whole church was like, no, it really is. And it just went crazy. Like, we literally forgot, like, it was Bible study. Like, wow. We're losing it in there, and not like shouting or dance, like that part of it. It was just literally coming to the understanding that we have God. So we literally are favored. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and it like that moment where the word literally becomes life. Yeah. And it happened in that service, and we was like, you gotta put this on a shirt. Like, everybody's like, if you do it, we're gonna wear it. Like, so people were like doing their orders that night. Like, wow. When is it gonna be here? So she has a whole line, Lady E Apparel, and it's so many different messages. And wherever I have to sing or wherever I go, I wear them. Because it means something to me, and I think that you always have to have a piece that somebody remembers from you, and it's literally like opens up conversation. Like, where did you get that from? Like, who's that about? God. So I always believe in wearing what you are, wearing and reminding yourself who you are.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So Tameeka, thank you for coming by.
Thank you
really
for
appreciate
having me.
For answering these questions, and
sure.
We to learn a lot more about you.
Absolutely.
And thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.